Hello and welcome to today's video. Now this is quite an exciting one for me in a small way. When I grew up I loved Star Trek Next Generation. I also liked Voyager, but I didn't really like Deep Space Nine. That sort of put me off Star Trek. But when VR was first re-announced and Paul Maluka had his Kickstarter, I believe, with the original Oculus, it was amazing. It was like, wow, this stuff that we used to see on a rare occasion in the early 90s, we're going to have it in our own houses running on computers. It sounded amazing. Then he sold it to Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and that was a real bad taste. It was like, oh, I don't really want one now. And the other disappointment was the project to create Star Trek in VR. The people that owned it put a block on it, put a cease and desist order on it, told them that they can no longer develop it, and it vanished. This is before I even got the equipment, and I've never been able to find a download for it until today. As soon as I saw it, I thought, wow, now this isn't finished and it isn't perfect, and there is a weird shape to the picture. I believe that's because it probably would have been made for the Oculus, the original Oculus's lenses. They had to twist the picture slightly to make it work, so when it goes back through the lens into your eyeball, it pulls it back straight. But look at this, you're on the bridge. You've got Data sitting there at the front. I didn't recognise any of the other characters, and it's a touch interface. Now this doesn't work particularly brilliantly, but I did manage to push some buttons and off we go. So I do believe that it's a loading screen kind of idea, but how immersive that you're not actually taken out, you're just in the lift while everything's loading. That's great, that is. Here we have a glitch and we boldly go where no man has gone before. Now that's obviously how it all works. A little bit like the what game was that where it was all tunnels? Was it Half-Life? So here we are back inside again. Some of the doors work, some of the doors don't work. I believe they wanted to make the whole thing work. And here we have the transport. Now that was quite a moment, that was, seeing that in VR. I don't believe it does anything, but what a thing to see. It's iconic. Obviously you've got Captain Picard's office, you've got the bridge, you've got the teleporters, you've got the loading bay where they send out them little like van looking space shuttle things, sick bay. Iconic locations, and I'm guessing a lot of them will be here if you know where to look. So I probably will have a good look round on this in my own time, not when I'm recording. And even still now, all these years on, and even after all the disappointments with Star Trek and the boring things they've been up to, Picard, and there still is a little fondness for me of the memories from when I was young. Whether or not anything like this will be worked upon in the future, it would be nice to think that people on the underground are fiddling away. I don't like it when people turn on the fans. It's fan things should be encouraged because it's free advertising, isn't it, for your IP. I would like to think that one day somebody will be like, well, it's not going to hurt us. it might actually be good for us. And they're not making any money out of it, so on you go. I did quite like the Star Trek game on the PlayStation 2, Elite Force. That would be brilliant in VR. So if anybody out there wants to make a game or a HD remaster in VR, Elite Force.